Yeah, I figured, Gray Man. Just been lurking for a bit. So, thank you, Snake, for those 40 bits as I left. It looks like the light is just permanently on the DualShock. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm happy. You don't watch Retro consistently? Yeah, he starts super late. But it's nice. Retro has been really enjoying himself lately, so. Retro, it's super nice to see someone who's just like pure variety and plays whatever the fuck he wants, like Retro. Do so well, you know? Okay. Are you guys ready for this goddamn fight? I hope I'm ready. I am definitely wanting to kick this guy's ass in the most pacifist way. I forgot how to play the game. Hold on. Daddy, no. Ow. Get up, boy. Dark Souls in. No? You moving, Sonny boy? His missiles really are shit. What's wrong with you? Fuck off. Oh, he's down. Gotcha, motherfucker. Yeah, I can imagine on harder difficulties, this would be a bitch. Can't hide! Welcome back. Thank you so much. Appreciate the continued support. I can do it. Man, you sound, Silvershot Archer, you sound so much like the Patriots. I still haven't found out the connection between Patriots and Ladi-Dado. I don't know why it's the same thing. It's weird. I'm hoping we'll find out. I'm hoping there's time left in the game for that. Hold on. Oops, 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 oops. Yikes, get up there, boy. Oh shit, you can actually fall off the arena. That is amazing. Okay, I gotta get off the edge. Shut up. Don't be mean. Wow, that's rude. I'm your son. Can't you have a little more sympathy? I really don't like being on the edge of glory. I would rather not. Yikes, I've got my back to him. Hold on. Ooh, lordy. Hold on, Papa. Oh, I probably could have put in a few more hits there. Patriots like the football team? Nah. Like the dudes. Look at all you nerds. I'm so glad to see everybody making the same reference in chat. Yikes. That was a cute little move, wasn't it? Ouch. Don't be mean. Woo. Don't be mean. Half HP though. Just in case. No, we'll wait. I'll wait till he's got nothing else left. Slowly but surely. Excuse me? I can't move? Alright, that's not cool. You're not one of the Patriots, but I believe you can do it. Now, I don't believe you, Snake!
Right. You have to beat Solidus. This is your last duty. We're not just pawns in some simulation game, you know.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
You're nothing but mere weapons.
kind
no
of are.
different from fighter jets or tanks.
What the?
The old model destroyed 4 years ago was Rex.
The new amphibious model is Ray.
Both of these are the same as the code names used by the U.S. Armed Forces to refer to Japanese warplanes during World
Oh,
War
sick.
II.
That's
Your
cool.
code name Raiden 2 comes from the Japanese Navy's name for one of its interceptors.
Stop it. I'm not a weapon.
Oh, really? Do you know the code name the U.S. Armed Forces used for the Japanese fighter Raiden?
Jack.
It was Jack.
Ah, figured.
Both of you are just weapons to be used and thrown away.
Damn.
Just weapons to be used on the battlefield. Just pawns in a game. Exactly as you said.
And a weapon has no right to think for itself. Now, it's time to fulfill your purpose. Defeat Solidus.
Is that the best you can
Hold on, I'm getting up. I'm actively getting up. Hold on. Woo. Wait, Daddy, wait. Ow. Dad. Rude. Lord almighty, hold on. I might pop this extra ration. Ooh. Got him. Oh shit, I thought I didn't know. God damn it. That's upsetting. Get up. One more hit, we're good. Got him. Got him! The only way I can win is to turn off the console. True. Should just shut it down. That was fun. It wasn't as tough as the Rays. But I am, you know. You wouldn't. Boy, who told you to stab? I have not been clicking the stick. I have not been clicking the stick. I said no stab. This was a no stab run. I'm so mad that I've killed 4 people in this game. I'm so mad. I cannot fucking believe. Pissed off. How can he stab? Sorry. Oh, he's laying some shit on me right now. Oh. Ooh. He's gonna hit his head on the head. What did he say? Are you dead though? I'm glad I'm wearing my little combat vest in this cutscene. Delete his browser history. Nah, man, the Patriots will do that for me. I can't really see that Sechi too well. And then George Washington came to life that day like Frosty the Snowman. So... I'm radiating? Am I okay? Was that me? People? No one's... Oh, am I not here?
Really? No one quite knows
knows who or what they are.
Snake?
The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens you had to carry. It doesn't matter if they were real or not. That's never the point.
How the
There's
fuck?
no such thing in the world as absolute reality. Most of what they call real is actually fiction. What
PHP.
you think you
Back.
see
Thanks for a
is
year.
only as real as your brain tells you it is.
Truly appreciate that.
Then-
Crazy sub.
What am I supposed to believe in? What am I going to leave behind when I'm through?
We can tell other people about having faith. What we had faith in. What we found important enough to fight for. It's not whether you were right or wrong, but how much faith you were willing to have. That decides the future. The Patriots are a kind of ongoing fiction too, come to think of it. Listen, don't obsess over words so much. Find the meaning behind the words, then decide. You can find your own name. And your own future.
Decide for myself?
And whatever you choose will be you.
I don't know if I can.
Everyone can.
I know you didn't have much in terms of choices this time. But everything you felt, thought about during this mission is yours. And what you decide to do with them is your choice.
You mean start over?
Yeah, a clean slate, a new name, new memories. Choose your own legacy. It's for you to decide. It's up to you.
Are they telling me to play the game again?
By the way, what is that?
Don't answer that. Combat vest.
Dog tags.
Dog tags. Tink! 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 It's
Anyone you know?
crossover. Tink.
No, never heard the name before.
That's
Pick my own name and my own life. I'll find
What?
something worth passing on.
Oh wait, did I put in that as my name? I vaguely remember like a name input thing in this game.
They taught me some
Did
good
I see that
things,
at some
too.
point? I don't remember if those memories are real.
We've inherited freedom from all those who fought for it.
So
We
he's
all
throwing
have
away the
freedom to
player,
spread the word.
me.
Even me.
Snake, what about Olga's child?
Don't worry. I'll find him. Count on it.
Is it a him?
As long as you keep yourself alive, he's safe.
I guess we don't know the gender of the baby.
Do you know where Liquid went?
I put a transmitter on his rack.
You did?
Did he
Atta
head for the
boy.
Patriots?
Yeah, but I have a feeling they gave Ocelot a bogus location to begin with. Cheer up. We have a better lead.
I think I did put in my name. That's so
This
funny.
contains the list
forgot
of all
that,
the
dude.
Patriots.
But Ocelot took it.
The one we gave you wasn't the real thing.
Wow.
What?
This virus is coded to destroy only a specific part of GW, namely the information about the Patriots' identity. Which means that there's a parameter coded in here that defines what that information is.
I get it. Analyze the code and you can probably find out where they operate. Count me in.
No, you have things to do first,
Gotta go save Rose.
and people you need to talk to.
Shit, son. What? So she's here. Just waving? I thought she was held in a cell. I thought the Patriots had her. That's this a Kate Marjorie or some shit?
Snake?
Ah, the Boyd.
What's wrong?
Otacon's bird.
Nothing. Can I
Oh,
ask you something? Who am I, really?
I wouldn't know. But we're going to find out together, aren't we?
Oh,
does she have different eyes now? Is she like going back to her normal
Yeah.
eyes? I forget. Did she have blue eyes before?
See me for what I am, okay?
Okay.
I know.
You're really pregnant? Pregnant? She's pregnant? Pregante? Really?
Do you remember this place?
Of
Can't
course.
believe it.
This is where we first met. I
They really met
remember
in Fisher
now.
Hall?
Today is the day I met you.
April 30th. They met each other on April
That's
30th.
it.
Oh, duh. The Patriots set it up.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah. The genes aren't the only thing you pass on. There are too many things that aren't written into our DNA. It's up to us to teach that to our children.
What kind of things?
About the environment, our ideas, our culture,
Hot dog culture. Sick.
passion, sorrow, joy.
He's gonna read some
We'll tell them
poetry.
everything
Yes.
together.
Is that a
Do it.
proposal?
This is for your ears only.
Really, this jackass posing like George Washington. Look at this son of a bitch. Get down! What the fuck are you doing? Standing on top of a statue? Who do you think you are? Hot dog culture? Man. Growing up, eating hot dogs right out of the package, not even cooking them, that's hot dog culture. Only my real hot dog Americans know that. It's over? That's it? No way! What?
What am I?
What? What?
Am I full
Ames?
of sorrow
I cannot believe that.
and pain?
Hostage Scott Dolph?
I fill with love.
No?
I walk by myself on the streets below, and
Hostage was voiced by Scott Dolph?
I know. Do you think
How is this over?
we'll bring
This is
sun or
over?
rain? Which one of these will show?
And Vamp's still around?
I can't say goodbye to yesterday, my friend.
Ain't he?
Keep holding on till the end.
The shocking conspiracy behind Shadow Moses? I guess those people wrote those things?
There is no other way.
That's Nastasha. As if she's a real person.
It's there that I'll find inner peace, not war and dreams.
Is this real? I still don't think this is the end.
I'll find the joyfulness I'm looking for way back
Really?
in yesterday.
some snappy ass music though. Trying to see if any of these names come up, like if they strike any familiarity with all that nonsense that Colonel was shouting earlier. I'm gonna see how I can play them, Timber. Because I know they're accessible through 3, but I don't know if I'm gonna get them like before 3, or if there's like a console thing in 3 that I gotta access. So, Toyota. That's so Toyota.
Why can't each of us in the world ever see the best things in life?
She sounds a bit like Fortune.
Little sounds of laughter, a warm hug,
Was that the steam that was coming up behind Raiden? Just like a New York
kiss from you
manhole steam?
to me.
Do you drive a Toyota?
I fall to my knees, I cry and I cry.
The Raven figure voice, cute.
Love, do not pass
Very cute.
by. Happy ever after.
Raiden was farting. God. You're eager for Metal Gear Solid 3? I cannot believe that this is over.
Used to fly.
Especially because I haven't heard what motherfucker was saying.
Goodbye to yesterday,
I don't get that.
my friend.
I didn't hear what Solidus was saying. Aside from his, you know, my I killed Mufasa shit. Anthro, thank you for the 200 bits, man. Good night, PHP. Sleep well. Or you can get Darkness of Shadow Moses. Oh, I might read that tonight then. I got some time.
It's there that I'll find
Weird.
inner peace,
What an odd ending.
not war.
Do I feel like the notes helped in the long run? Yes, hugely. Thanks for the 50 bits, Tuesday. Sleep well, PHP. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I would not have remembered anything had I not taken the notes. I thought legit that we were halfway through this game. But I guess I'm not. I guess it's over. Unless I'm getting absolutely bamboozled. Scott Dolph again. This motherfucker is a real ass dude. Can't say goodbye to yesterday. Recorded in Manhattan. Carla White did the vocals. Otacon is a registered trademark of Otacorp in Baltimore, Maryland. It is the fucking convention. Helvetica? Accrediting the Helvetica, the font, dude. I have a week to make a PowerPoint presentation explain. Oh god, hell no. Hell no. I'm not gonna explain this to you guys. Yes, Ringleader Luna. I'm gonna play the entire series. Even Peace Walker. Aaron Kiefer Davis. That's an interesting middle name you got there. This is wild. I can't believe this. Claire, good to see you. That's it? What happened to Vamp? Did I see a Vamp die? I don't feel like I got, like, my brain wrapped around Vamp. And Solidus is just, like, dead? No. Ocelot has fucked off. Where is that? Ocelot's just fucked off with liquid in his arm. The fuck? Man.
Life isn't just about passing on your genes.
Oh.
We can leave behind much more than just DNA.
I tranked him, though. Boredom.
Through speech, music, literature, and movies,
Culture, yeah.
what we've seen,
We didn't end the Patriots
heard,
plot or anything.
felt, anger, joy, and sorrow.
Ice skating.
These are the things I will pass
It's
on.
the bird I
That's what I
shot!
live for.
I can't believe it. Adrian, thanks for
We
the
need to
host.
pass the torch.
I believe
and
I
let our
just
children
beat Metal
read
Gear
our
Solid
messy and
2?
sad history by its light.
Maybe?
We have all the
Stop fucking.
magic of the digital age to do that with. The human race will probably come to an end sometime, and new species may rule
More
over this
fucking-
planet. Earth may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can.
It's that dude that you interviewed,
Building
Adrian.
the future and keeping the past alive.
That David
are
guy.
one and the same thing.
Where's Meryl? I have so many questions still. Where's Meryl? How is she? Why don't we talk about her? God. How just... I still have crazy people in my ears as Raiden. I still have...
Snake, you there? It's me. I've finished going over that disc.
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people. There was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
E.
What's going on around here?
I don't know.
Anyway, where are they?
Well, we were right about them being on Manhattan, but
But what?
they're already dead. All 12 of them.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the hell?
What? Fucking 4 killed. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. When did I kill 4 men? I'm so mad. When did I kill 4 dudes? I'm legit so mad. This pisses me off so much. Ah, when did I kill 4 dudes? Maybe one of the guys in a seagull suit? I don't fucking think so. Maybe they fell off, yeah. I tranked so many motherfuckers. Man. Do bosses count as kills? I did not use lethal means against any of the bosses. This sucks. De Gaulle is a secret boss. What if that one dude tripped in his own pee and fell? That's his own goddamn fault. He's an idiot. Why was he peeing 5 minutes? Man. What is my rank? Ass fart? Elephant? I'm an elephant. Look at me. Happy little elephant. I thought that said cunt above, and I was gonna lose it. It says cunt above, though. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But okay. I guess I'll look at my trophies. New item obtained. Righteous. You got a camera. You can use in the tanker episode. I know. Oh, I can just use it wherever I want. Save, sure. No, you don't have anything you can possibly kill anyone with in the first part. No. You have the M9. I can kill anybody. You didn't kill anybody. So fucking pissed off, dude. I was so careful this whole time. At least Elspeth likes me. Man, that would be amazing. I think she thinks I'm pretty alright. I don't know if she likes me, likes me. Ringleader Luna, tonight, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Man. You never saw me kill anyone? Yeah, I once choked Emma. I also choked Snake at least once. You know, sometimes you just gotta get a little choky. Elephants think we're cute. I'm glad. Kill Fat Man? No. Absolutely not. I did not, Silva. I don't even think you were here for that. I tranked Fat Man. I tranked every single boss. I tranked Olga even. I didn't kill anyone. But I dragged Fat Man's confused, tired body. Sturdy, it's good to see you. I'm mad! I'm mad. I was so clean. I was so careful. Is Quentin Flynn Raiden? Or is that Christopher Randall? You'll see me for the next Metal Gear Solid game? Good. What if Jim played my game and killed 4 people for me? I'd be mad. I'd be livid. So she's dead. Her baby's still alive and I gotta go find the baby? Presumably not in Metal Gear 3 though? 'Cause that's in the past? Ugh. Batman has a heart attack? I didn't kill him. I didn't shoot the fucking president! Ocelot shot the president, and I'm pissed off that every time they show the president scene, it cuts Ocelot out of that. It upsets me. Quentin is, goodness God, his voice. Are you a big fan, Timber? This was a very good game. This is a very good game. I gotta say. A lot of fun. I'm shocked that the reveal happened so late, like right before the last boss fight. Like, how do you end like this? This is such a risky move to do. In any kind of media, whether it's like a TV show, a movie, a book, or a game, to end like that, where there's so many unresolved elements. That's fucking crazy. I'm gonna play in release order. If you're crazy. Next time, I have been Dr. Snuggles. I don't know how long you were watching me for, but every time I killed somebody, I killed myself. Or reloaded the save. Hey, now it's your boy! Instead of Red Boy. Is it blue because I did a good job? Of not killing people? The ending was the least of this game's risky moves? Yeah, dog? Mistress Mercy, good to see you. Yeah, the ride and switch and bait certainly was risky. For sure. I look puzzled. I'm just talking about my feelings, Hawkeye. I don't need anything, like, definitively. I was asking, like, I was just sort of saying, like, it was a risky way to end this game. It's a way that doesn't tidy up everything. Metal Gear Solid 1 is relatively tidy. Like, we're riding off into the sunset, abandoning our, you know, fighter ways, gonna go fuck the shit out of this pink-haired chick, and mush dogs back in Alaska. There's some elements, like, at the end with, like, Ocelot talking to Solidus, that hint at another game, but I feel like there's so much more left on the plate here than there was at the end of 1. I realize there's some loose ends, but it just feels like even more. You want to be friends with Brekka, by the way? She's awesome. Glad you like her. Brian's ending in this game? Yeah. I mean, he's hooking up with chicks, saying that they're gonna make their own story next. Killing yourself doesn't work. It tracks when you choose continue. I can't honestly remember a time, Dr. Snuggles, where I killed a man and it didn't, like, exit out. But, could be it. Question's big happy, I'm glad. I hope that the series resolves them. I have no desire to know everything at this very moment. Because if I did, I would just Google it. And that would just sort of defeat the purpose of playing the next few games. So I'm happy. I'm happy that I have a lot of questions. That nothing really makes sense. And hopefully I will make my own sense of things. Which is where the fun lies. You know? The game ends well as soon as the fourth wall is completely destroyed. Yeah. Kind of. We're starting MGS2 3. I might read the Shadow Moses book if I can access that now. Think of me getting an epic mug or something to drink. You found a mug that fits perfectly, although it's $30. You know, for D&D, I was thinking I might just take all my pens out of this and wash it. This might be good enough, honestly. To save the $30. I can put that in, Why did the president grab my dick? Why did the president grab my dick? I'm not actually asking you guys in case that's an important thing. But he grabbed my dick. That's like not even socially acceptable no matter what year you are living in. I don't get it. Alright, don't, yeah, please, God, I should stop asking questions. I'm going to see if I can read the Shadow Moses book now. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. People are actually explaining. Please don't explain. Sorry for all the purges, guys. When I do actually want information... Oh, now it's Snake? Excusez-moi? Why? Okay, special. Can I get Shadow Moses here? Do I really need to know? I want to get the lore in a very natural way. Let's see. Basic actions? No. Previous story? No. Probably not. The New York Mirror? The New York Mirror? The New York Mirror? Oh, is this In the Darkness, Shadow Moses? Okay. Ryan's packing. Yeah. Thank you guys for the sentiment. I appreciate it. I know, but I said I don't want any, you know, I don't want it to be clarified. If it's really like a lore thing, that's fucking hilarious. And I genuinely hope I can experience it at some point in the games. But it's fucking funny. Alrighty, here we go. In the Darkness of Shadow Moses, The Unofficial Truth. Author Nastasia Romanenko. Reviewed by George Franklin. Some topics in the recent American past have the immediacy and the power that still engage our collective imagination. Names like the Grassy Knoll or Roswell roll off our tongue with deliberateness reserved by most other nations for Holy Lands. With this new non-fiction account from Nastasia Romanenko, Shadow Moses, the scene of the nuclear siege 2 years ago, is set to join the ranks. Oh, the ranks of Roswell, really? Of cover-ups. Thank you, Hawkeye Pierce. Thank you, Mr. Eddie G. I appreciate it. Gene, I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, Bayonetta. I've never played it before. I don't know. Try shooting her dick. I feel like that may be important. Do you permission to post clips? Yeah, you may need a permit for that. You said it was attached to lore? No one. I'm just saying if it is, then I'll figure it out naturally. If I get to the end of the Metal Gear series and the dick grabbing is not explained, I will ask you, chat. Trust me, it's a burning question. I will remember the dick grabbing. And if I don't, at the end of whatever the Metal Gear, let's say 5 is the last one I play, if I don't remember to ask you guys, I'm sure someone in chat will be like, what about the dick? Can I tell you about the dick? Can I tell you about the dick? It's important to me. We'll get it there. We'll get there. Good night, Determinated. Yeah, there's a clip of me being shocked that I'm being sexually assaulted by the President of the United States of America. Who am I trying to save? Okay. So we got this. Official history states that the takeover of a nuclear weapons disposal facility on a lonely outpost in the Fox Islands, Alaska, was the work of a radical right-wing group. Their demands for the release of group members incarcerated in federal penitentiaries were never met. It wasn't that. It was Foxhound, which I don't know if you can call a right-wing group. And I don't think they wanted the dude in the penitentiary. They wanted the remains of Big Boss. It's interesting. The incident was speedily resolved by the successful deployment of a commando unit, of course. BS, the author asserts. Romaneko says that she served as an advisor to the Nuclear Emergency Search Team and deconstructs what she claims to be a cover-up story by the government with precision. .93 minute ban. It's a very specific number. According to the author, Shadow Moses Island was nothing less than a U.S. Army's testing grounds for a top-secret weapon known as Metal Gear Rex, an all-terrain bipedal tank with advanced nuclear capabilities. As for the facility's takeover, Romaneko alleges that it was the U.S. military's own shadowy wetworks force known as Foxhound that staged an armed resurrection in a bid for Rex's possession. The government responds to this crisis by sending in a lone operative, a former Foxhound member known only by his codename Solid Snake, into Shadow Moses. His infiltration is aided by a remote mission control team consisting of an unidentified Colonel Campbell, unidentified, stripped of everything, a Foxhound medical chief Naomi, a radar and electronics expert Mei Ling, supposedly a teenager. She was a teen? I didn't know that. And the author herself. Once on the island, Snake joins forces with Metal Gear's developer-turned-prisoner Otacon to eradicate the weapon of mass destruction. Among the other remarkable characters that make an appearance in Romaneko's expose is another Foxhound commando, a revolver virtuoso called Shalashaska, aka Revolver Ocelite. One of the more controversial allegations in the book deals with the figure's connection to a disavowed Russian militia led by a Colonel Gorlukovich. Romaneko paints a bleak picture of a 1,000-strong, highly disciplined army with nuclear weaponry operating covertly within the American border. Even more irresistible to conspiracy scholars and students of recent history is her thinly veiled suggestion that the whole affair was planned from the beginning by certain forces inside the U.S. government. Interesting. Hey, Parpir Parna, good to see you. The dick grabbing is actually a meta-commentary about the influence of crochet knitting on a sense of identity in the past 3 generations. Guys, come on, it's obvious. Yes. I see. It all makes sense. The U.S. Army and the usual suspect of federal agencies have issued a statement denouncing the book as a complete fabrication. However, Nastasha gets, because her husband or ex-husband or something like that was Ames, who was working for the La Dido. She had the feeling that it was like a force inside the government. That's interesting. A chain begins on Wednesday. Yeah. Man, I can't believe I'm done this already. I'm really shocked that I'm done this already. Why 1 and 2? Because I didn't play it. And I wanted to play them. She wasn't smashing Stillman. Stop! No, I didn't play them already. I'm going to play them next. I didn't want to get to them until I had done 3. Because I thought that maybe they could be unlocked within 3. Like, okay, you know, in Animal Crossing, or maybe a better one is like, no, I haven't played Doom or Wolfenstein, but I think that you can access older versions of the games through the new game. But anyway, in Animal Crossing, the original, the GameCube, you can play actual, like, NES games in the game. Pretty sure. using systems within the game. But you have to acquire those systems in the game to play the games. I thought it would be a game inside a game thing instead of a it's in the menu thing. So that's why I'm waiting until now. You click on the Tina clip, and now the stream and 3 Tina clips are playing. Oh god, no, Doc. Only a few levels of Wolfenstein appear in Duna. Oh yeah? Interesting. Gosh. Blah, 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 statement denouncing the book. However, with the number of detailed eyewitness accounts that back up the author's assertions cropping up on the daily on the web, the denials serve more to enhance the book's growing reputation. Shadow Moses is an engrossing read for casual and serious readers alike and promises to involve readers in a meaty debate over the truth of the matter for many years to come. Excerpted from the literary review column, all booked up, the New York Mirror. Now I can read... Oh, can I read the actual full book? Yeah, I wanted to release, except for the unfortunate not playing the first two, like Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 in order. I want to do the rest in release order. 129 pages. This is nothing. We'll be done in 30 minutes, guys. My laughter is extremely creepy in triplicate, I would imagine. Yeah, it's 129 pages in like 72-point font. I'll be done quickly. Don't you worry about this. The Shocking Conspiracy Behind Shadow Moses by Gary McGolden. Is this the preface? The island of Shadow Moses lies due north of Alaska's Fox Islands, deep in the Arctic Circle. Above one of its rocky cliffs stands a cabin normally used for meteorological surveys. And it was here that I found myself seated on a chair with my hands bound behind my back and a burlap sack covering my entire head. The blizzard rages outside, and the cabin was a dark, silent patch somewhere inside the storm. I could sense at least 4 men around me. Ooh, spooky. They had been interrogating me for what felt like hours now. The burlap sack is pungent with traces of coffee beans. In the biting cold of the cabin, images of Brazil come to me, unbidden. Alleys coiled through with vivid, untended profusion of flowers. Children with skin like frothy chocolate. Sunshine capable of burning out the cornea, erupting between palm fronds. I can feel my senses starting to fail. The man in front of me asks, for the 2nd or the 100th time, I'm going to ask you again, what's in the optical disc? I told you, I don't know. I just found it, okay? You're lying, you bastard. A fist explodes in the pit of my stomach, bringing up a peanut butter sandwich of many hours ago, along with the rusty taste of blood. The relentless beating and numerous knife cuts of the past hour has have my whole body screaming with pain, but I refused to tell them what they wanted. I had too much invested at this point. Too many days of dangerous investigation into the story of a lifetime. There was no way I was going to give it all up at this point. That's enough. A voice spoke up from somewhere in the back of the cabin. We have the disc back. Just get rid of him so we can get out of this place. Even in my current sorry state, I was still a journalist. He had said, we have the disc back. That meant that my hosts were the original owners of that optical disc. The last piece of the puzzle was in its place. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything recorded on the disc was true, and that the conspiracy I had suspected did in fact exist. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna read it. I'm sorry. If you'd ever met me before, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. I'll be playing more of the Metal Gear series on Tuesday or Wednesday. But I like reading. I like writing. I'm going to read this. This is a joy to me. 129 pages and 72-point font will be the title of your biography that documents your high school career. Just the high school career? That'll be the name of it? Call me frothy chocolate instead of black. God. You read that as a burp sack instead of burlap sack? I'm sure, because the intensity of the moment is gone, I'm sure a lot of people are filtering out. I appreciate you being here. I do enjoy this part of games, though. I like reading things, so I'm going to do this. Welcome to Reading Write-In. Yeah. Like the Reading Rainbow. At that moment, I heard a window shatter. The raging storm outside seemed to gain entry into the cabin. I think I'll play some music quietly. I don't know if this will fit the vibe of the book, but... The raging storm outside seemed to gain entry to the cabin in an instant, and I heard... Hello? I want to... Oh. Controller, you bitch! I heard thin screams from the captors that encircled my chair. The next second, they'd already fallen heavily onto the floor. A brief concussion ended before I regained the presence of mind to even panic. Whoever was now here, whatever had happened, my tormentors were obviously out of commission, but now I could hear measured footsteps approaching across the floor. If this person had just saved my life, who was it? Or was I about to share the others' fate? The footsteps came to a halt in front of me, but strangely enough, I did not feel any sort of presence nearby. Ooh. You're actually Metal Gear, Devante? Well, that's good. If I get some stinger missiles, I can destroy you easily. It's in a book, reading, writing. The burlap was slowly lifted from around my head, pulled off by an unseen hand. The stinging night air cooled my face, and my eyes gradually regained focus in the darkened room, and I could finally see who it was that stood before me. Just out of the sight of most of its citizens, a massive conspiracy determines the workings of this nation. Weapons of mass destruction secretly developed by the military. Super soldiers re-engineered into war machines through genetic manipulation. A killer virus that only targets specific individuals with deadly accuracy. Tanks that walk rather than roll and carry a nuclear payload. A covert organization. The third and most powerful political party. My encounter with which landed me in this chair in the Alaskan winter. Damn. Yep. Right up your butt. Or in your mouth. Probably butt then mouth. Devontae with the little... Yeah. I'm digging it. All of these are a part of the truth I found sealed within the optical disc, and I intend to share what I have learned in the pages that follow. That includes everything I now know about our government and the secret arena where even a greater power pulls the strings. That is a truth many have glimpsed, but never dared to talk about. Everything detailed in this book actually happened, and after I lived it, my world was no longer the same safe place that I knew. Neither, I promise, will be yours if you have the courage to keep going. It all began a month ago. Is this by Nastasha? Was Nastasha... Did she eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich and then get tortured? You never wanted to meet LeVar Burton in person? You just wanted a picture? You can't disappoint a picture? Oh no, was he a jerk in person? Good night, Lord Assman. Sleep well. This is a nice way to unwind, I think. Oh, that's a reference to something. Okay. Yeah, if it is poor Nastasha, I guess we're gonna find out. Because it said in the... I'm not gonna go all the way back, sorry. It said George somebody or other. The postman rings. A month before my dramatic escape from death on Shadow Moses, I was having late breakfast in my apartment in New York. Ever since an alien abduction episode in my childhood, I'd been plagued by a persistent ringing in my ears. What? Alien abduction? How's the volume for the music? Oh, it's from Community. Gotcha. It was just a peanut butter sandwich. I'm pretty sure there's no jelly in it. It was George Costanza. Damn. A large patch of mud was my undoing. I slipped, fell, and was knocked unconscious. When I came to visit, it was already dawn. I'm sorry, when I came to, it was already dawn. Later, I was trying to see the bump on the back of my head in the mirror when I saw it instead. A small hole the size of a pinprick had been made behind my ear. You learn a little something when you watch as much TV as I did. There's no doubt that I had been abducted by a passing UFO and had spent the hours while unconscious with alien beings. Unfortunately, no one in the area recalled seeing a UFO, and not a single person had the sense to listen to my story. I realize now that this was the day I decided to uncover the truth for a living and become a journalist. Really? What is this? There's no such thing as a peanut butter sandwich. Man, I miss peanut butter sandwiches, dude. I can't have peanut butter sandwiches anymore. I feel like if I'm going to do reading, I may as well put on my glasses. But my eyes actually aren't blurry yet, so I should wait maybe. Turned out that the ringing wasn't in my ear, but from a doorbell. That thing shrieked somewhere south of a baritone bat sonar, barely within the range of human hearing. Blame the mangling it took from a particularly displeased visitor. Outside the door was the mailman. In the mailman's hand was a thick manila envelope. On the envelope was a label addressed to me. A letter bomb! I pressed my ear against the envelope and concentrated hard. But not a tick from that thing, of course. No one uses analog watches and bombs these days. That's why they call it the digital age. In fact, why would there even be a watch in a letter bomb? The point is that the unlucky recipient opens it and the bomb goes off. Which means that it's actually the completely silent envelopes that are dangerous. I knew that opening that flap would send my eggs to the big omelet in the sky, but you don't get to be an investigative journalist for thinking inside the box. I tore through the bottom of the envelope instead. Rip! No! The contents of the suspicious envelope dropped to the floor with lightning speed. In this world, you can never be too careful. Let this be a warning to you readers. When circumstances compel you to open an envelope from the bottom, turn it upside down first. As a rule, I discovered objects fall down. And this is what happened to the contents of my lethal envelope. Straight down into a half-eaten depth of a delivery pizza forgotten on the floor. Boy, you forgot a pizza on the floor? What the fuck? Right in front of your door? After Metal Gear, what's next? Like after the entire series? No idea. You didn't fall asleep at all during us. Welcome back to the land of the waking. I don't recall exactly when this food item arrived in these premises, but the thing was definitely a museum piece by now. Fortunately, it wasn't a bomb, but an optical storage disc, now liberally smeared with peanut butter. Peanut butter? You dropped it into pizza. The disc was the kind that comes in a clear plastic casing, through which the rainbow sheen of the circular unit shone. Unit. I gazed at it a while, thinking of the UFO from that fateful day. You were unconscious. Is this guy crazy? This guy's crazy. Anyways, I fished the optical disc out, noting the lack of a label. A quick wash at the sink got rid of the crud that it had accumulated. The disc was drying by the window. Is this like, do I think this is the Shadow Moses book, but it's actually been, like, the sleeve was taken off of some other book? Like, this is not Shadow Moses book. I'm about to read 100 more pages of this shit. Anyways, I fished it out, noting its lack of a label. A quick wash in the sink got rid of the crud that had accumulated. The disc was drying by the window as I hunted through the now harmless envelope for clues. A single sheet of Xerox paper was stuck inside, and it read, "From the desk of Max Smithson, Editor-in-Chief, Mega Surprise Magazine." Yeah, peanut butter floor pizza? The fuck? What? No one. If anyone actually ordered a pizza and said, put some peanut butter on it, I'm pretty sure Domino's would hang up. I'm going to do Link's Awakening after I beat Link to the Past. I'm mailing you this optical disc that was sent to the edit department. It's right up your alley. See if you can turn this into something more. We'll do a book if you get some stuff together. It's your chance for a comeback, so don't screw it up. Max is an old friend, and it used to manage most of my book deals way back when. We hadn't seen each other much since I gave up writing. Not that he has the right to tell me about comebacks and screwing up, but I found myself growing excited by the prospect of writing another book. But there was a problem, and it was a big one. Oh, this is the shocking conspiracy of Shadow Moses, not in the darkness of Shadow Moses. Oh, fuck. That's disappointing. But I guess I gotta read this to read the other one. Peanut butter and jelly pizza has you intrigued? That's not the kind of intrigue we need. How the hell was I gonna get the disc's content? My next door neighbor is a starving college student. I hit him up for his use of computer now and then. I banged on his door and screamed repeatedly until he shuffled to the door half asleep. Once inside, I made a beeline for the piece of junk and stuck the disc into the drive. An icon appeared on the display with a gentle whir. The file name read, "In the Darkness of Shadow Moses." But an urgent click on the icon only brought up an error message. What nefarious scheme was this? What secret encryption was preventing me from accessing the data? I clicked again and again with the same result, and started to gnaw on the keyboard in frustration. The starving student came running over, wailing about his equipment. He typed in some Moon Man language, avoiding patches of spit, and frighteningly cheerful application the frighteningly cheerful application starting screen appeared on the display. Then, lo and behold, I beheld my eyes on a dense mass of text, the contents of the disk. Nastasha's book is over 300 pages long, but if it's this typeface, we can get it done tonight. Any chance Drake is going to join us for the next Jackbox night? It might not mean nothing to y'all, but maybe. You're curious about the pizza, but you don't want to try it. I mean, next time you have a leftover slice of pizza, put a little peanut butter on it. A little X of it. Yeah, he's gnawing on the keyboard like a dog, I guess. At the very top of it read, In the Darkness of Shadow Moses by Nastasha Romanenko. The starving student was being scholarly and trying to read the text over my shoulder. I knocked him out with a punch to the solar plexus and devoured the file's content. What the fuck? It was like a blow to the head of a frozen tuna. My brain was reeling from the shock. The file was full of wild stuff, top-secret conspiracies, incredible genetic experimentation, cold-blooded military deployment of classified weapons. This was the most incredible stuff I had ever come across. The unofficial facts, according to the disc. Most readers should be aware that among the series of strange military actions involving an island farther north of Alaska's Fox Islands some 2 years ago. The island was called Shadow Moses and received a series of well-documented but never explained visits of obvious significance. USS Discovery, an Ohio-class ballistics missile submarine, was ordered away from its designated training area and was confirmed offshore of Shadow Moses Island. Who wrote this? Some quack, I think. But some quack that I think actually got the disc. But because he's a quack, is the perfect person to have the disc. Because who's going to believe him? He eats peanut butter pizza. That's the real debate. Fuck this whole pineapple pizza thing. That's been a ruse. That's been implemented by the Patriots to get you to not think about peanut butter pizza. What is it about peanut butter pizza that they want you to forget? Is that the key to our genetics? Does that unlock some sort of superhuman intelligence in all of us? Peanut butter pizza? There's only one way to find out. It joined an E-3C AWACS that had already and suddenly been deployed to the area with none other than Jim Hausman, the national security advisor, aboard. 16 hours later, 6 F-117 Nighthawks, that's a lot of numbers, I'm sorry, with a full payload took off from the Galena AFB for Alaska. Winston? Winston from Overwatch? Yeah, the Illuminati thing. Same shape as a pizza. Telling you. 12 slices, 12 people. Cue the X-Files theme. Bum, bum, bum. Various theories were placed in circulation by the media at the time. Some journalists insisted it had been a foiled invasion by an attempted foreign state. Others suspected a coup d'etat by a part of the U.S. military. I myself wrote an opinion piece for a magazine explaining that Shadow Moses was the Ellis Island for the Greys. Oh, man. Can I just tell you, unless it's executed really well, if this game ends up involving aliens, I'm gonna... It's gotta be executed really well. But, I really hope it doesn't involve aliens. There was... Oh, you know what? You know what's interesting? The Colonel says that he was once abducted by aliens. Once he goes crazy and he's like spouting nonsense. Winston loves peanut butter? Shadow Moses would be a great name. I'm sure there's a cover band for like Metal Gear songs made by a band called Shadow Moses. If they aren't, I'd be shocked. But yeah, the Colonel talks about being abducted. I wonder if that's relaying information from this guy that's just been cobbled together. This diminutive gray race is, after all, the most famous of our alien neighbors, notorious for having secret bases all over the planet Earth. But according to this file, we'd all been off our marks. What had instead unfolded on Shadow Moses was the most important terrorist incident in history, an apocalyptic scenario born out of a government-developed Superman project and a doomsday weapon of the same origin. On that fateful day, The nuclear weapons disposal plant on Shadow Moses had suddenly been seized by an irregular operations squad called Foxhound, aided by a group of next-generation super soldiers. And what they threatened was no less than a nuclear strike against the mainland United States. So how is it that we're all alive? There's a song called Shadow Moses by Bring Me the Horizon, yeah? Let's start a band. If only I had talent. What's the IQ needed to play in that band? 180? Shit. Apparently, we have a madman known only as Solid Snake and his solitary infiltration of the disposal facility to thank for that. Believe it or not, this is only the tip of the iceberg as far as Shadow Moses incident is concerned. The disc contains many more horrifying facts, such as a major government conspiracy, a classified weapon described as a walking nuclear-capable tank, and advanced genetic manipulation projects. Many of these hidden dealings were discovered by Solid Snake as he carried out his mission, and it is now my job to relate these facts to you, my readers. But it is still a little too premature to do so. Oh, is it still a little premature to do so? The concept of the disc may, after all, be nothing more than fiction, or even a delusion. After all, who exactly is this Nastasha Romanenko? Gray man. Could it be? What about Shadow Mosses? Oh my god. Now I wish I was into like plant genetics and I could like create a super soldier moss and name it Shadow Mosses. Okay. In search of Nastasha Romanenko, a quick search of the web turned up a few illuminating facts about this elusive writer. Nastasha Romanenko was at one point with the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency. At the time of Shadow Moses incident, she appears to have been a freelance military analyst, having already resigned from the agency. Nuclear and weapons technology would certainly be right up her alley, and in the disc, she states that she took part in Solid Snake's mission support. Her exact role was as a member of NEST, Nuclear Emergency Search Team, providing field expertise via the radio. Her intimate involvement in the mission gives her a complete and clear grasp of the facts surrounding the case, despite the government's successful cover-up. A look at Romanenko's curriculum vitae and body of papers makes her anti-nuclear stance more than obvious. That, along with all the other facts about this person, suggests that unless she suffered a sudden chemical imbalance or is plotting a second career as a Hollywood screenwriter, Nastasha Romanenko does not indulge in expounding conspiracy theories for its own sake. All very interesting. So where is Romanenko now? I decided to give Global Elements Incorporated, the book's publisher, a call. Below is a complete transcript of the conversation. Cordyceps moss, that would be wild. It like walks. It's bipedal. I hear such great things about Twin Peaks, and I think I need to give the show a watch. Is the new season good? Hello, listen, you leftover carnival prize. What do you know about a woman named Nastasha Romanenko? Whoever it was. Hey, your village called. They want their idiot back. And watch your language, freak. Click. That's a rude way to start. Clearly they're hiding something. Why else the abrupt response and a hasty hang-up? Does this guy have no social skills? New season is good, but definitely more on the creepy side. Less on the ridiculous side. I see. Shadow Mosses, a horse with no aims. Clearly, they're hiding something. Why else? Okay, yeah. I was on the trail of something important. Something dangerous. If the content of the disc was true, this Nastasha Romanenko was definitely the woman who knew too much. Her life could be in danger, and she could either have gone to ground or was already dead. That brief telephone conversation spoke volumes. There was a contract out on her life. If this was the price of speaking the truth as described in that disc, the picture was complete. But was everything she wrote really true? I went back to my apartment and packed a bag. I was headed for Shadow Moses. The coldest place. I took a plane to the northernmost domestic airport and went to see my cousin, John D. John D is a hardcore Alaskan and a big-eyed tuna fisherman. When I asked him to drop me off at Shadow Moses Island during one of his trips out to sea, he turned pale, and a nervous tick started up at the corner of his eye. Shadow Moses? Are you nuts? All the other guys say the place is crawling with military. If you even get close to the shore, they shine these huge searchlights in your face, and some of my buddies even got interrogated once. I felt the sudden chill of fear along with the certainty that I was on the right track. You're a wuss, you know that? Try being abducted by a UFO. That'll teach you what's really scary. This is not dialogue that actually humans said. I got a family, you know? I'm not about to go messing around with the man. Okay, you get me as close as you can to them. I'll swim the rest of the way. Swim? You're gonna turn into a frozen tuna treat. Don't worry about that. I have an idea. We sailed out for Shadow Moses Island that day. This is written really well. This is written so in character of this crazy guy. With all like the purple prose and like the descriptions. Now the tuna thing makes sense because his cousin or whatever works in tuna. This is really good. This is really good like character writing. It's an acquired taste. The new season of Twin Peaks. I know Jade's a big fan, as is Lady Aviana and I believe Call of Cthulhu. Can you work in tuna? Anybody can if they put their minds to it, I guess. It was colder than the dairy section and the boat pitched like a subway derailment on caffeine. That little sentence, that nugget is so good. I shook constantly from the cold and retched peanut butter into the sea. This man eats nothing but peanut butter. Jesus Christ. Then down some more to keep warm. What the fuck? He's probably got a psycho reason of eating peanut butter. He probably thinks peanut butter is the only substance not controlled by the government or aliens. A few days passed in this pleasant fashion until John D, drawing the lines on his charts, turned to me. I'm sorry, man, but this is as far as I can go. If you really want to do this thing, you're going to have to find your own way. I'm betting there's nothing of actual import in here, but I have to leave through it to get to the actual book. There were at least 20 miles of Shadow Moses, according to the chart, but John D was already a blubbering wreck, and I didn't have the heart to strong-arm him. I steeled my nerves. It's okay. Get me ready. The plan was brilliant. I had gutted a supersized tuna and stuffed some inflated balloons inside, along with a small oil lamp to keep the interior toasty. I would cover the length of my body with the fish and dog paddle my way to the island. Any oxygen shortage could quickly be remedied thanks to the balloon, and the landing would appear to be nothing more than a large dead fish swept ashore. All I had to do was swim out of the tuna undetected and investigate the hell out of the place. Absolutely brilliant. I bore the fishy stink of the tuna skin with proper journalistic aplomb and walked to the edge of the ship's deck. The Arctic wind was numbing, even through the wetsuit, but I bade John D a hearty farewell and jumped into the sea. But right then, disaster struck. Actually, it was the tuna's spine. Its bony mass conked me hard on the back of my head from the force of the landing. I tried to right myself, but I was jammed tight against the balloons. The tuna started to sink rapidly, and I kicked my legs wildly, as wildly as about a gallon of seawater rushed into my lungs. To add insult to injury, the lamp fell over, shedding its cover. I could feel the heat of the exposed flame dangerously close to my face, and the smell singed my hair. Oh, the smell of singed hair. This is why I hate traveling. But after what felt like hours, I found myself ashore on Shadow Moses Island. So we actually fucking made it. Blostein. Do you know if Blostein translated this? Blostein didn't translate this, but he took too many liberties with Metal Gear Solid 1 script. Oh. Interesting. Let's take a moment here to review what happened on the island on that fateful day. Romaneko's disc provides a complete answer. Shadow Moses was no ordinary weapons disposal facility, but served as a secret military training ground, among other things. On that day, the Wetworks Commando Unit, known as Foxhound, and the Next Generation Special Forces Group were conducting joint exercises. Where's my vocal zone? My vocal zone is here somewhere. Also, I'm hungry. Here's my vocal zone. Yeah, you should just use a cardboard box, right? The peanut butter thing is a weird ass fetish, right? Okay. Foxhound is an irregular squad of elite soldiers equipped and armed to the teeth with the latest technology. They were long-time and strictly behind-the-scenes players throughout recent history, engaging in sabotage, selective assassinations, and other covert military operations. Wherever the United States could not officially intervene, whether it was a civil war, regional unrest, or the types of low-intensity conflict, Foxhound was there. It's unlikely, however, that an average citizen has ever heard of them before. These commandos remain a top-secret government project. And then there's the Next Generation Special Forces Unit. This is a cutting-edge anti-terrorist force newly organized to cope with terrorist incidents, specifically involving weapons of mass destruction, typified in nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. They draw heavily from former mercenary ranks and are on a diet of rigorous VR training, guided by the Force 21 concept. Interesting. Oh, the tuna suit is a weird fetish, I see. Blasting was a big reason behind Metal Gear Solid's 1's success. His localization was miles better than many other Japanese games at the time. Devante, go eat. The result is combat capability, which is rumored to surpass even those of the Delta Force and Div Gru, formerly known as SEAL Team 6. Most frightening of all, these soldiers have supposedly been manipulated at the genetic level to increase their combat performance. They were purebreds among the dogs of war, and they turned on their masters with a surprising demand. Having seized the civilians that were on hand, they demanded that the government turn over to them the body of Foxhound's founder and combat genius, the so-called Big Boss. Yeah, I beat the game, and I'm reading the stuff. You're gonna stay behind for the lore, Devante? I see. The government had 24 hours to comply or a nuclear strike would be initiated, but what would motivate them to make such a demand? And how do they intend to make good on their threat of nuclear launch? With these questions still unanswered, the government decided on a seemingly reckless course of action. For this daunting task of stopping a nuclear strike and freeing the hostages from the clutches of these ultimate soldiers, they sent in a single man. His name was Solid Snake, no other than a former member, I think that should be none other than a former member of the now renegade Foxhound and a legend among mercenaries for single-handedly bringing down the fortress cities of Outer Heaven and the Zanzibar land. Your reaction is probably one of incredulity. Just one guy? You may wonder, they decided to gamble the future of the entire world on a single mercenary? I wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment, but there is more to this mission than meets the eye, as I was later to discover. I can't believe I'm reading all this and I'm not medicated right now. You've never played Metal Gear Solid 2, The Dwarf? You glad to see the story? Just delete all your content. You're drunk. You're going home. You seem to be fine, The Dwarf. I haven't seen you do anything wrong, my dude. But have a safe trip home. Get a ride home. If this narrative were actually double printed, would we notice when it started over? I would catch on to the peanut butter pizza, I think. Solid Snake's remote support team. Snake was delivered to the island by USS Discovery, an Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine. He may have been the lone field operative, but there was a distinguished mission control team in contact with him by radio. The overall control of the mission rested with Colonel Roy Campbell aboard the USS Discovery. As a former commander of Foxhound and Snake's CO during the 1999 Zanzibar land standoff, he was forcibly called out from retirement to deal with the latest crisis. Also aboard the Discovery was Dr. Naomi Hunter, a genetic engineering expert with the commercial biotech firm ATGC Inc. I don't remember that. She was in charge of Foxhound's gene manipulation program. Mei Ling, the architect of the mission's state-of-the-art radar and communication system, was the third team member. Apparently something of an engineering wunderkind, wonder child. She developed the next-generation communication technology while still a student at MIT. At the time of the mission, she may still have been in her teens. Oh shit, I feel super bad about hitting on her now. Shit! No wonder she was so fresh-faced and adorable. I'm glad you're enjoying the lurk, the dwarf. McDonald Miller, a My boy Master Miller, a former Foxhound survival instructor, was the only land-bound member of the mission control team. Unlike the other four, Miller was working out of his home in Alaska, at his own request. Lastly, Nastasha Romanenko, the author of In the Darkness of Shadow Moses, rounded out the team as an expert on nuclear and other weapons of mass destruction. Oh, you were sent here by the Scoot Troop raid. Gotcha. I getcha. See, you mean like he's all of a sudden most normal? You mean the guy writing this? He's just summarizing what Nastasha has said. It almost feels like, so as an instructor of rhetoric, there's like a phenomenon that's really hard to teach students not to do, and it's something that's really hard not to do yourself. It's called patch writing. It's when there's no real way that you can organically convey an idea in your words, either because you haven't fully grasped it yourself, or you're just not used to communicating the information. But it's taking sentences and rearranging them, or subbing in synonyms for certain words, saying the same thing. Like, you can hear the other author's voice in these sentences or these paragraphs that have been patch written, but technically they don't line up precisely with like a plagiarism checker or something like that. So it's in the gray area of plagiarism. So to me, this feels patch written, like he's trying to communicate exactly what Nastasha wrote and summarize it using his own words, but you don't feel any of his personality in there. You're gonna need a summary in the end. Well, this is basically all the encounters at Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid 1. The first task faced by Solid Snake upon his infiltration of Shadow Moses was to rescue hostages. Two of the captives in particular were considered top priority, but neither survived the mission. Though Snake successfully freed both men, they died suddenly in an identical manner. At the time, the mission control team tentatively attributed the deaths to heart attacks, a diagnosis that was to prove starkly incorrect. The first hostage was Donald Anderson, the head of DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, the R&D body of the United States Department of Defense. The organization was responsible for planning and overseeing the development of new weapons technology. The other VIP hostage, Kenneth Baker, was the president of Arms Tech, one of the largest and most powerful defense subcontractors in the country. An overseer of the United States' war technology and a powerful arms producer don't just happen to meet in an out-of-the-way military outpost. No one reading this account can fail to realize that these two had no business in a nuclear weapons disposal plant. And since neither Anderson nor Baker was in the habit of enjoying winter picnics, Romanenko's assertion that there was a new weapon secretly being developed in the island rings all the more true. According to her, there was indeed such a weapon, and it was close enough to completion to warrant a field test. What exactly was this new weapon? The 12-hour movie will be a summary will probably be a 12-hour movie of the Otacon voice actor talking the whole time. I'd be down for that. I'd watch that. Metal Gear. I'm not sure it's a term that many of you have heard. I know it only as a kind of journalistic urban legend, while I was still just a beat reporter. It was a phantom bipedal tank that moved with an unprecedented speed across difficult terrain such as mountains, deserts, and swamps, firing nuclear warheads from locations that were previously impossible. Once this weapon rolled off the assembly line, nuclear strikes could be made from almost any adverse terrain, and the tactical nuclear map for the whole world would be rewritten. This nuclear-capable bipedal tank is said to have lurked in the wings of both Outer Heaven of South Africa and Zanzibar Island of Central Asia. One theory holds that the development had progressed to a working prototype stage, but the weapon never got materialized on the world arms stage. In a strange coincidence, or a causal connection, it was none other than Solid Snake who saved the world from the threat of Metal Gear during both incidents. But history does indeed repeat itself, and the specter of Metal Gear rose once again. In the state-of-the-art weapons development program on Shadow Moses Island. When I reached this point in the narrative, I suddenly checked myself. Wasn't Metal Gear's time effectively over? Ever since the collapse of the Soviet Union late last century, the idea of mutually assured destruction and the arms race to maintain this dangerous status quo had been fading into obsolescence. The START II treaty signed by both superpowers had already started to chip away at the nuclear stockpile, even back then. In fact, the disposal facility at Shadow Moses had been built to disarm and temporarily store some of these same warheads. With the very idea of nuclear weapons under serious scrutiny, why would the military invest in the development of a nuclear-capable tank? Or is there something more to this weapon? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Metal Gear Rex, the newest of its kind. Almost 45 feet in height, equipped with Vulcan cannons, and laser arrays, and shielded by a cutting-edge composite armor, rendering the unit practically impervious, even to heat warheads, high-explosive anti-tank. And I haven't even gotten to the truly scary part of this thing. The crown jewel of the Shadow Moses Metal Gear was its railgun technology. The gun was designed to fire nuclear warheads clear of the atmosphere, where they would automatically align themselves to the target and ride the optimal trajectory back down to Earth. So what, you think? There's a big fat missile flying in from the sky. Who cares where it came from? Just shoot the damn thing down. But here's the catch. You won't be able to find any of Rex's warheads, let alone shoot them down. Don't believe me? The facts bear out. Were we on page 69? Missed it, damn. It's 1 a.m. I'm gonna at least finish this book. And then I'm gonna go to sleep, and then, I don't know, next cast I'll read the rest of the other one. Yeah, now I'm never going to bed. Now you told me what to do. Thanks a lot. Never gonna end this cast. 24 hours, let's go. Only 20 more left to go. I'm kidding, I have too much to do tomorrow. Normally, ballistic missiles go through 4 phases from launch to impact. The first is the boost phase, which consists of the time between the missile's launch and the point at which it leaves the atmosphere and exhausts its supply of rocket propellant. Following the burnout, the rocket enters the post-boost phase that concludes with the separation of the re-entry vehicle that contains the warhead. The third phase is the mid-course phase, in which the re-entry vehicle separates and achieves a controlled descent back into the atmosphere. The warhead's re-entry into the atmosphere and its arrival at the target mark the fourth and terminal phase. I love that we have a backseating command. That's great. Current missile defensive systems are alerted to incoming ballistic missiles by detecting the rocket burn during the missile's boost stage. However, Metal Gear's missile technology employs a railgun rather than a conventional rocket propulsion to achieve boost stage acceleration. As a result, there is nothing for the existing missile defense systems to detect. The railgun's effectiveness is nothing short of amazing, with a range of over 3,000 miles, rivaling that of the mid-range ballistic missiles. It reliably homes in within 170 feet of the target 50% of the time, placing it in the same class as high-end ICBMs. The ability of Metal Gear to conquer virtually all terrain means that the railgun can launch a stealthy nuclear strike from almost any spot on the globe. This invisible attack would make it impossible for anyone to pinpoint the origin of the given missile, even in the event of a strike. Without a clear aggressor to retaliate against, the concept of mutually assured destruction falls apart. Without the fear of MAD, the existing rules of nuclear non-engagement would no longer apply. It also wouldn't matter if the whole world knew that a nuclear missile would be launched from Shadow Moses Island. The missile defense system was helpless against a new breed of ballistic missiles. This is exactly what the terrorists counted on in unleashing Metal Gear Rex, and its all-powerful nuclear weapon against the world. Anyway, I trudged through the cave, sweating on the weight of my trusty tuna. See, like, there's so much that's like Nastasia's truth, and then it's like, back to this asshole. I trudged through the cave, sweating under the weight of my trusty tuna. Soon the rocks gave way to smooth walls and a row of bright lights. I'd finally arrived. This was no doubt the cradle of insurrection, that military facility which Solid Snake so brilliantly penetrated. The eye of the storm which threatened to engulf the world. We're over halfway there, chat. Fortunately, there was not a soul to be seen. I could, however, hear a faint cry amidst the whistle of the wind. "Gary, help me!" I couldn't believe my ears. How could anyone on a remote island that I've never visited know my name? I took a good cautious look around, and a familiar figure among the steel pillars was seen in the corner. It was John D. It was Geralt of Rivia. My cousin, who had so carelessly pitched me overboard into the sub-zero water only a few hours ago, was now sitting on the ground, tied to a post. What had happened? Help! Gary! I trotted over to where he was calling pathetically, the tuna heavy on my back. He smiled weakly when he saw me. "What the hell happened to you, John D?" I asked, crouching next to him. "I don't know." Right after I let you off, this black helicopter came around. A helicopter? Yes, a kind of squarish black one. The next thing I know, I'm tied up here. Gary, why are you still wearing that fish? Was there more to this than I suspected? Who was responsible? The military? Or the mysterious group mentioned in the disc, the ones whose authority outstrips even that of the President of the United States? Fits with the information themes of the main game nicely. Yeah, trying to suss out reality from the narrative, the constructed narrative that's being woven around. My thoughts were interrupted by a sudden gunfire. I instinctively pulled the tuna over me again. Gary, you gotta help me! Untie me, will ya? Where was the shooter? The bullets were wildly ricocheting off the posts, making it impossible for me to pinpoint the origin. If I stayed put, I was dead meat. What should be my next course of action? Untie me, man! Gary! Don't just call me Gary. I'm a tuna. I started to run, dodging bullets and sprinting up the stairs. I was unstoppable, speeding away like a gazelle in a large fish skin. Farewell, Cousin John D. There are responsibilities greater than your safety that I must shoulder. Mine is a high and lonely path. Let's take this moment to review Solid Snake's footsteps. He left his cousin to die. Hey, Jade. Thank you so much for being a box and continuing your support. I hope you're doing well tonight. Going pretty late reading some books. With some Tina jams in the background. Let's take this moment to review Snake's footsteps. The nuclear weapons disposal facility that he had infiltrated was crawling with terrorists, and engaging the enemy was unavoidable. This was a battlefield. No mistake about it. You're not sure what you expected, but this doesn't make any sense either. Him in a giant tuna running away from his cousin? Snake's progress had been impeded at every step by patrolling squads of super genome soldiers, and such formidable foxhounds such as Psycho Mantis, the master of psychokinesis and mind reading, the chameleon-like decoy octopus, the chain gun-wielding giant Vulcan raven, and Sniper Wolf, one of the best marksmen in history. The following is a profile of individuals whose involvement with the government conspiracy seemed to be the most intimate. The information should help make the terrifying truth about this case more clear. Revolver Ocelot, an ex-Spetsnaz, also known as Shalashaska. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, he found lucrative contracts as a mercenary in conflict-ridden regions throughout the world. His activities led to his recruitment by the U.S. government and his entry into Foxhound. As his code name indicates, he is a brilliant marksman, whose preferred weapon is a revolver. Ocelot challenged Snake when he came looking for Kenneth Baker, the president of Arms Tech Incorporated, but the battle never reached the conclusion Ocelot wanted due to the sudden intrusion of the stealth, camouflage-clad cyborg ninja. Ninja's sword cut a deadly arc right through Ocelot's right arm. That's right! No wonder Ocelot had his arm. I completely forgot that his arm was cut off. No wonder he had the arm grafted on. I completely, forgot about that detail. I just find it weird, though, that Liquid says he chose Ocelot as his host. He was dead. How do you, as a dead arm, decide, I want to be on Ocelot? Anyway. The Russian sharpshooter also served as a liaison between the terrorist band and a Russian militia led by the renegade Colonel Gorlukovich. According to Foxhound leader Liquid Snake's master plan, the Russian militia would join them on Shadow Moses after the nuclear strike had been launched. They would then commence an all-out assault on the rest of the world from their safe retreat on the island. With nuclear missiles that could neither be detected nor defended against, over 1,000 first-class Russian soldiers, next-generation genome commandos, and the combat skill and tactical cunning of Foxhound, this new army's objective was nothing short of World War III. The arm crawled up Ocelot while he was unconscious and docked with a stump. Ew! Could be prearranged, yeah. The Ninja. The mystery figure equipped with a reinforced exoskeleton and stealth camouflage confounded Snake as well as the terrorists with his superhuman strength and agility. His interest seems not to have been with what was happening at the facility. Evidence suggests that he was there solely to engage Snake in battle. It was through such an encounter that Snake realized the identity of the ninja. His name had been Grey Fox, and he was supposed to have been killed by Snake, his best friend. This may seem surprising, but the dead coming back to life is a fairly routine occurrence. There are examples throughout the world to prove this fact. Oh, here comes some more bullshit. When a Roland Grace's grave was relocated in 1952, there was a deep gouge marks discovered on the inside of the Hungarian farmer's casket lid. It looked as though the dying man had tried to claw his way out of the coffin. On a brighter note, a Japanese man called Jin-emon Natakama walked out of a stalactite cave in 1914, a full 10 years after he had gone missing while exploring the same cave. His family was doubly astonished to discover that he had apparently not aged a day since they last saw him. That's wild. All this makes complete sense to me, and it should to you as well in a moment. 2 words. Pyramid power. I have no doubt that Gray Fox was forced to undergo the same revival process by military scientists in the course of their horrific genetic pyramid power? Imagine how pissed Liquid was after he learned what Ocelot does to his guns. Oh god. Gross. Liquid Snake. I know exactly what you're thinking when you hear the name of the man who led Shadow Moses' uprising, and my answer is yes. Solid Snake, our hero, and Liquid Snake are none other than twin brothers. This guy is he's very learned in his crazy conspiracy theories. They are not, however, twins in the usual sense. This is yet another manifestation of the U.S.'s military's dangerous love affair with genetic engineering. The 2 snakes are fighting machines created through the so-called Project Les Enfants Terribles. The rumors that the government is attempting mass production of super soldiers are numerous and persistent. Just the other day, I came across something called D-People-EO, a humanoid combat droid. Development on the outer shell had gone off without a hitch, but the unit had to have a human being inside to function, which decreased its utility somewhat. The military finally realized the fact late in the game and pulled the plug. There was also a plan to use a well-known psychokinetics DNA material to breed an army of gifted soldiers. Well-known psychokinetics DNA? His conspiracy theories mixed with the truth of Metal Gear's story work together really neat. Kind of indicates the story of Metal Gear Solid was treated as a fringe conspiracy theory. Yeah, considering like the smear job that the Patriots put on Snake, making him out to be a terrorist, like that's really neat. Yeah, it's just a super suit, isn't it, Boredom Elemental? Yeah, that's interesting. The psychokinetics DNA. Unfortunately, someone pointed out to me that there is indeed no spoon. Oh, wait. Is this a reference to the Matrix? Or at least not in a normal combat situation. Solid and Liquid Snakes, however, were successfully created from their father, Big Boss's genetic material. Sorry. They were literally born to be extraordinary soldiers, and it was no surprise that when they finally met, the result would be titanic confrontation. 30 pages to go, guys. I hauled myself and the tuna upstairs, dodging the invisible sniper. The spiral staircase seemed to go on forever. Just as I was about to give up the climb, I saw the exit to the roof. This is how, like, you go from Sniper Wolf up that fucking tower? Don't you? That's exactly Snake steps. I guess he really is following in the footsteps of snakes. I pulled open the door and lurched into the faintly lit gloom. The sub-zero wind felt soothing on my overworked body. I laid the tuna down and sat down next to it, trying to catch my breath. The enemy may pursue me even here, but I had nothing left in me to run with. I pulled out my hip flask of peanut butter and bourbon. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? Who is this fucking crazy guy? The fiery liquid slid down my throat, hot and thick. Peanut butter is my Waterloo. When I was a kid, I was a wuss who couldn't eat peanut butter like the other red-blooded children. He's allergic to peanut butter? One day I decided to confront this weakness of mine and put myself on a peanut butter overload. No wonder he said he like ate peanut butter to feel warm inside. Anything I put in my mouth had peanut butter on it. I piled the stuff on everything from chili dogs to onions, my favorite dish, to spearmint gum to my girlfriend's lips. The inevitable result is that I came to hate peanut butter. If I didn't like it much before, I now loathed it with abandon. If I could gather the entire world's supply of peanut butter and dump it into the Bermuda Triangle, I would. As it is, all I can do is eat as much of the stuff as I can. Peanut butter, I will always hate you. How does that song go? And I will always hate you. No, that's not it. Will always... Must be another song I'm thinking of. Can't remember. Snow is starting to coat my shoes. Where was my tuna? Oh, there it is, right next to me. A bright light in my eye. Now I remember what day it is. June 24th. The anniversary of my UFO abduction. Why am I so sleepy? And what does that sound? No way this dude had a girlfriend, right? That's the wildest conspiracy here. Is he a dog if he put peanut butter on her lips? Oh, maybe he put peanut butter on a dog's lips and made out with it. That's fucking weird, dude. Alpha male peanut butter eating macho man. This guy is nuttier than a jar of Jif. Yeah, let me just smear some peanut butter on your lips and let me lick it off. Jesus Christ. I mean, if somebody like super hot that you liked said that, you might be like, all right, this is some kinky food play. Okay. Your first girlfriend's lips? There was a chopper, a squarish black one. It was coming closer. Fox died, the secret assassination virus. If you recall, I wrote that the two hostages, the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, and the Arms Tech president, Kenneth Baker, died of a heart attack while they were being rescued by Solid Snake. The actual cause of their death, however, was a specially engineered assassination virus called Fox Die. It's GIF, not GIF. Fox Die is a retrovirus that kills only select people. Its development was passed on to Naomi Hunter from her predecessor. Once Fox Die finds its way into a target system, the person dies almost immediately. It's practically a viral equivalent of spontaneous human combustion. Anime body pills generally don't resist when you put peanut butter on their lips. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right, Alex. Window liquor Skippy is where it's at. Skippy is too sweet. You want peanut butter right now? I do too. This has got to be a plant. This is like subtle advertising. I really wish I could eat peanut butter, but I can't. It just doesn't agree with my system anymore. Dr. Hunter had injected Solid Snake with this virus, and he unwittingly made contact with his targets one by one. They fell prey to the retrovirus's power. But the decision to infect Snake was not hers. That order had in fact come directly from the Pentagon. You gonna eat a PB&J in a moment? Do it. The true objective of the DoD was to selectively assassinate the perpetrators of the terrorist uprising. All Snake had to do was come in contact with the targets. The mission objectives he was actually given, namely to stop the nuclear launch and rescue the hostages, were nothing more than a smokescreen. By simply sending Snake in as a disease vector, the Pentagon stood to reclaim their expensive investments, Metal Gear in the bodies of the genome soldiers, with very little risk of damage. The Pentagon also believed that Fox Die would successfully cover up the incident by virtue of its lethality. However, Naomi Hunter's re-engineering of the virus cast grave doubts on the reliability of Fox Die itself. Even though the nature of her manipulation was unknown, the Pentagon decided to take extreme measures to counteract its development. I know we're being targeted by the Big Peanut Corp. Can't eat peanut butter? Only one option. Put it on everything you put in your mouth, right? God. What a fucking lunatic. This guy is whack. But he's brave at least, sort of. I guess there's bravery and insanity. The bomber on the horizon. Alarmed by news of Dr. Hunter's tampering, the then Defense Secretary Jim Halsman. I wonder what fucking happened to Jim Halsman. I have to read my notes. took over as the mission's commander and headed for Shadow Moses on an AWACS. Around the same time, a bomber took off from the base in Galena, Alaska, carrying a payload of surface-piercing B-61-13 tactical missiles. The defense secretary had decided on a more direct approach to cover-up, fighting nuke with nuke. It was a rationale that smacked of return to the arms race, and Snake was furious. He had already succeeded in destroying Metal Gear Rex, and the terrorist incident was over for all intents and purposes. Was a nuclear airstrike to be his prize for accomplishing all this? As it turned out, the airstrike never happened. Somebody had countermanded Jim Hausman's orders. You may think that the only person with the authority to override the orders of the Secretary of Defense was his Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States. But, like most things in this account, the truth is far from obvious. The hand that stopped this nuclear strike was that of the shadowy secret society. But what kind of group is it whose power outstrips even that of the American presidency? So close. When I came to, I was sitting in a weather station cabin with a burlap sack on my head and hands tied behind my back. So, this is the way it ends, I thought dimly. I haul myself all the way out to this pimple on the Arctic and die at the hands of an invisible executioner without finding out a thing. One of my captors moved in closer and started rummage inside my chest pocket. I cursed inwardly. This is where I had carried Nastasia Romanesco's disc, the entire account of Shadow Moses. My policy is the best way to ensure that something doesn't get stolen is to have it with you at all times. Clearly, I needed to reevaluate this one. The man easily found it and seized the disc. "What is this?" he demanded. "Whatever it is, it's worth more than you." I responded with as much menace and dignity as the burlap on my head allowed. Well, well, that is something. What followed was both highly tedious and painful, and nothing of great significance was said until that electrifying statement, "We have the disc back." We've now come full circle since the start of my account, and caught up to the point where it originated. It was unclear how the disc had gotten to Max Smithson at Mega Surprise, but my captor's words indicated that the disc originally belonged to them. Either that, or they were the ones who wanted it most urgently. I took my courage in my hands and opened a dialogue with them. Fictional authors writing reviews of fictional books that document the truth and fabrications of fictional game stories. My head. Good night, Mistress Mersu. I hope you have good luck with Jean in the future. Yo, you guys happen to be that secret society whose power outstrips even that of the American presidency? Answer me, you artificial coloring on a cheap drugstore candy cane. Really? You said that? This had the exact effect I'd hoped for, namely to send them into a violent fit of rage. I must have hit pretty close to home. The contents of the disc were as good as verified. This was indeed the secret society whose power outstripped even that of the American presidency. He really likes that phrase. In my delight, I hardly paid attention to the obscenities that were being screamed at me, nor to the distinct sound of a gun being pulled out of its holster. It was then that the cabin suddenly erupted into control chaos. It seemed only seconds from the time that the window was smashed to the moment I realized my captors had been decimated and was alone with my survivor. Who was this human whirlwind? I was ready to lose my lunch from the curiosity and the terror. I could taste the peanut butter in my mouth. I could hear the enigma walk up to me and lift the burlap sack off my head. I concentrated on the hammering of my heart for a moment and slowly looked up. There was nobody there. I could see nothing, sense nothing, but someone was untying the ropes biting into my wrists. Invisible hands placed themselves on either side of my head in the strange parody of a coronation. They deftly removed the bandana I had earlier fashioned into a clumsy bandage from my bruised head. The faded piece of cloth was not my own, but a flotsam found on the beach. Snake's bandana? Did he drop that at the end? I thought Meryl picked that up and kept that with her. I reached for the unseen figure with my shaking hands, but with one quick flick of the bandana, it was gone. But there were more surprises to come. As I gingerly moved my stiff body, I felt an unfamiliar bulk against my chest and discovered the precious optical disc, miraculously recovered. Not only that, but there were enough backup copies to fill me with awe and pop the stitches of my flimsy pocket. For Jean, all you need was the shield lollipop? Ah, gotcha. Well, good on you. You wonder if he met with someone who was a part of the secret society whose power outstrips even that of the American presidency? What makes you think that he might have met with someone who was a part of the secret society whose power outstrips even that of the American presidency, Alex? I thought of my mysterious savior, Possessed of superhuman fighting ability, invisible, and capable of burning discs in an instant. There's only one possible explanation. He's gonna say aliens, and I'm not gonna be happy. It had to be an alien. Probably the little gray kind. And so I came in from the cold to my hole of an apartment in New York. My trusty tuna beside me. Fucking why? The landlord mentioned that my neighbor, the starving student, had gone missing recently. It could be that I was nosing around the wrong information from his machine. If I ever see him alive again, I should apologize. I'm currently banging out this manuscript on an antique typewriter. That's great. This is the truth as described on the optical disc, and as elaborated and verified by my own experiences on that fearsome island. So he experienced pretty much nothing aside from being held hostage for being an idiot and going to the island. He seems like the kind of guy who met with somebody who was a part of a secret society whose power outstrips even that of the American presidency. Only time will tell. As this account draws to a close, my thoughts dwell more and more on Nastasia Romanenko, the woman who risked everything by recording the facts of the incident on this disc. I think it was her way of giving voice to the victims of the mission, the casualties of nuclear weapons throughout modern history, and to all the lives disrupted and damaged by an elaborate government conspiracy. Her will was passed on to a countercultural journalist in New York City. That's me. And the truth is out there for all to see now, just as she had dreamed. Readers, the responsibility to disseminate the facts of Shadow Moses' incident is now yours. What will you risk to know the truth? The publishers afterward. This nonfiction work was based on a factual account written by Nastasia Romanenko, a military analyst who allegedly took part in a secret mission to counter a terrorist incident on Alaska's Shadow Moses Island. Her account was published in its original unabridged form as In the Darkness of Shadow Moses after the successful publication of this volume. Gary McGolden, the author, is a journalist and nonfiction writer who is best known for his past bestseller, The Telekinetic Powers of the Loch Ness Monster, the true energy source of UFOs. The details of McGolden's adventures of Shadow Moses remain uncorroborated, but there are serious doubts as to his tuna-aided landing on the island. There is in fact ample evidence that he was swept out to another small island several miles south of Shadow Moses and failed to realize that fact. McGolden has seemingly vanished into thin air following his manuscript's arrival at our humble offices. While this has been a source of great pleasure to our accounting department, I can sincerely hope that his notoriously fickle but talented writer is hard at work on a follow-up to this volume. Though certain aspects of the book require further fact-checking, this alone should not dissuade you of the veracity of its many of its main assertions, nor should you dismiss the contents of Nastasia Romanenko's disc outright. Instead, readers should approach this account with an open mind and a sense of adventure, much as Gary McGolden did when he first received the disc in the mail. I should note, however, that Gary was mistaken about one thing. I never mailed him that disc. Ooh, what? Telling fact from fiction in the digital age of rapid information flow? Maybe it was the aliens. Maybe I was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. We did it, guys. It's not really 300 pages, is it? That's a good cover right there. Ah. I'm running out of voice. And, I am going to read the rest of this another day when my voice isn't going to die. Maybe it's the secret society's power outstrips even that of the American presidency. What? It's a cute little story. Can't wait to read The Darkness of Shadow Moses, The Unofficial Truth. I'll write that down in my little Metal Gear book. Sunday? I might actually do it Sunday before we do some Zelda. Okay. Read in the darkness. That's gonna take me at least 2 hours to read, I think. Jesus Christ. The unofficial truth. I'm gonna host somebody up. If only I could download more voice. You guys want to see my photos? I only have 3. Should I edit it? It's loading. Yeah, here's the first photo. A lot of it is boring recap that I can scan through. Okay. I'm assuming it's all, like, a lot of it is like, this is exactly what happened. Jenna was this. Here's my next one. I did not get a lot of photos because I found this version, so it's just Snake's here. But this one's pretty good, actually. We did this one today. He's so angry? Yeah, his sprite is super angry when he's Snake and not Pliskin. He's like so hopeful and nice when he's Pliskin. When he's Snake, he's like... Mouth is just downturned. So yeah. I think it's about time that I, boss survival? What? What? You can do boss rushes? That's cute. The brow accentuates that brow. Oh, the bandit accentuates his brow, yeah. That's cute. You can do a boss rush thing. That's neat. Casting theater? What? Demo? Stealth Snake from bridge to tanker. Snake watches soldiers landing on the tanker. We'll go meet Snake. What? Is this all the cutscenes? What? No, that's weird. What is this? Casting theater scene selection? Is this like cutscenes that I can watch again? How was the mini novella? It was good. It was a good read, actually. It was kind of funny. Interesting. So previous story is the Shadow Moses-y thing. Is this eggplant? Oh yeah, that's an eggplant. I'm sorry. Oops. It's playing actual music now. Missions? Snake tails? What even is all of this business? Snake tails? Oh no, don't actually start something. A wrongdoing? Big Shell evil? Eternal gazer? Dead man whispers? What the fuck? Is this more reading? What is this? I gotta exit out of this. Oh no, I don't... Alright, that's enough. What the fuck? There's more reading? It's only like 6 pages. I will get to this another time. I gotta stop. I gotta turn this off. Yes. You can change the models for the actual cutscenes. Snake Tails was Kojima